What's going on, Malakas, and welcome back to a new MTG Arena video. And you know, Scoops, I had a hellish night/morning combination, and that's why this video is getting released just a smidge bit late. But I'd like to showcase this Amulet Turns deck that I brewed up, because I believe it to be the best/most consistent way, and if the word fun and Nexus of Fate could be used in the same book, then I'd probably buy that book for $1, Scoops. I probably really would, because unlike the Turbo Fog versions of the deck, it can actually deal with what's on the board, so you don't just die if you brick. It can also deal with whatever gets thrown at it. But let's get into this deck tech and then get into some gameplay, shall we? We play Revitalize to gain life and cycle, Anticipate to dig and cycle, Negate to help us with our bad matchups like Storm and Control, Rejuvenation to gain life and cycle, Disallow to help us prevent bad things from happening to us, Settle the Wreckage to deal with what's on the board, Commit Memory to basically stop bad things from happening to us, as well as greatly aiding us on going off. Aether Reservoir is the win condition because we just gain a bunch of life in this deck, and a lot of the times the spells are super cheap, so winning is not a problem. Primal Amulet, you all should stop, pause the video, and read this card. It is such a sleeper. It's so powerful. I'm so shocked that people are not playing this more often, because it's absolutely like win, 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 win. Because even if I play Nexus of Fate on the Primal Wellsprings, you know, when it flips, even if they counter the original Nexus of Fate, it still gets a second copy, so I still get to take an additional turn, and if they don't have any counter spells, I take 2 turns. This is not a legendary land, so I've actually tapped 4 Primal Springs, played 1 Nexus of Fate, and took in 5 turns. All I'm saying, Scoops, it's powerful. 2 Cleansing Nova here to deal with Blue Storm, or basically board clears, or if somebody's doing like heavy enchantments against us, we can basically deal with it with Cleansing Nova. 1 Fumigate. I used to play with 2 Fumigates, but I didn't want to draw so many board clears, and 2 Nexus of Fate. And a lot of you people out there are like, well, what do you do with all the dead cards in your hand? Well, because all of them are instances and sorceries, except for our win condition, which is Aether Reservoir / Primal Amulets, right? We can basically just play them whenever you want, just to flip the Primal Amulet. Like, if we have a Fumigate, a Cleansing Nova, and a Settle the Wreckage in our hand, we can feel free to play a Settle or a Cleansing Nova for creatures, or a Fumigate to help us flip our Primal Amulets. But anyway, Scoobs, let's go ahead and get into some gameplay, shall we? Pardon my interruption, but it's time to do that YouTube cringe thing. I would greatly appreciate it if you would leave a comment and a like on the video, as well as hitting that subscribe button, because it's very difficult for smaller YouTube channels like this one to show up on the YouTube algorithm without your support, Scoobs. Without further ado, let's get into this gameplay. All right, we are currently 0-4 right now in the Quick Constructed. This is not a very ideal opening hand, but we do have a lot of cycling plus life gain, so we'll keep it in hopes that our opponent just doesn't like just super aggro us out. Because if it's like a control deck, we can actually do that, because we play negates and disallows in this build. Not only that, but the reason I like this build more is because it pretty much just stays in the rotation for the most part. I mean, there's only a few cards that aren't in rotation after this. Ooh, there's a land. Let's go. Okay. We're going to anticipate at the end of their turn. Okay, here we go. So it looks like we're going against possibly a control deck. I would be a sucker not to take the Primal Amulet, 'cause I don't have one. Actually, I have one in my hand, but these right here make or break a lot of the games that I play. All right, we're going to main. There we go. Take an Irrigated Farmland. Now, my opponent's probably wondering why I did that main step, but if you know anything about it, you're probably thinking, oh, he didn't have a land drop. That's pretty simple. Let's go Revitalize. This might eat a counterspell, actually, just to prevent me from drawing, and if it does, I'm actually pretty happy about that. Fighting over the wrong cards is not exactly where I personally would want to be. See? 1 counterspell down, I've got 2 in my hand, so when he goes to try to drop us to Fairy, I'm going to be fairly happy. Yeah. He might go like a card draw here, or he might just slam his Teferi down, and if he does, I'm just going to counterspell it. Yeah, I will disallow that, my good sir.
Don't make another move.
And I've got a second one, by the way. Ooh. I should have went with the Ritual of Rejuvenation instead, because I could have had that plus negate backup. Oh well. My opponent's kind of bullying me with lands, which is okay. And a turn. You want to counterspell this one, genius? Oh man, it's so bad. I wonder, do you guys like the camera up top or in the bottom, on the bottom right? He's thinking about it. Wow, what an idiot. Okay though, let's go. I'm still not going to deploy anything in my hand. I've got a massive card and counterspell advantage over my opponent, so there's no way I'm going to do that. Thinking Teferi now? Teferi now? I'm just going to negate that. Oh, he might have negate backup, but yeah. If he has negate backup, then he would have ran out of cards.
Plan B.
But it doesn't seem very likely. He's only got 2 cards in hand. I've taken pretty much 2 of his 4 win conditions out. Literally just completely out. And I still can't deploy anything just yet. I gotta wait till I get at least 2 more lands so I can go Amulet plus Disallow. It's looking really good to put that Amulet out, but I'm still not gonna do it though. I'm drawing nothing but action. My opponent's drawing lands. So in a way it's not good, but in a way it's whatever. Sure, we'll disallow that one too. If he has a disallow, which... What? Normally my opponent would be like, oh, wow, I just win automatically. I have all my Teferis. I highly doubt he's got 4 Teferis all together just like that. So I'm actually going to go Primal Amulet now. Doesn't have a counterspell. He might have like a cast out to burn, but that's fine. If he casts out my Primal Amulet, it's not the end of the world. Not exactly where I want to be. But if he goes a 4th Teferi here, I'm going to be like, Nani? I really will be. Absolutely. Glimmer Genius. My opponent's just looking for his other Teferi or just some way to lock up this Primal Amulet. That's all he's doing. And it doesn't look like he's got it, so good for us. So here's what I do. 1, 2, 3. I'll have 2 left over. I'm going to play my Psychic Corrosion now, just as a teaser, if that makes any sense. If he wants to counterspell this, I am happy. I am so unbelievably happy. That's 3 disallows and 3 Teferis. Yeah, go ahead, buddy. That's all you. That's 3 disallows and 3 Teferis, almost all in the opener. Like, what? My opponent got super lucky. Yeah, I'll draw a card. Want to counterspell that too? Seems pretty good. I'm winning the counterspell war, that's for darn sure. My opponent's not playing very smart. He's playing overly aggressive because he's probably used to playing against opponents that cannot fight counter magic back. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think the greedy play is to go Primal Amulet, so I'm actually just gonna wait. I can anticipate plus commit whatever he's gonna play. So I'm not really in not a bad spot. If he goes draw spell here, I might commit that. Might. Doesn't seem very good. Or, oh, Field of Runes? Sure, that's fine with me. My Arc? I would have killed the Arc. Sure, I'll anticipate. I honestly would have gotten rid of the Arc. The Arc is what's going to end up not working here. But I'll take the Ritual over a land because I need to flip my Primal Amulet as soon as possible. But that's probably what he's saving that for. So let's go ahead and get... Yeah, we'll get another island. He's probably saving this Field of Ruin because... This is a May ability, by the way, in case you don't know that, Scoobs. Like, this is a total May ability. Hold on. Right? It says here, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on it, and then if there are 4 or more, you may. I don't have to flip it if I don't want to. Yeah, we'll end turn. Like, I don't have to flip it, and this is basically all his Field of Runes. It's all of his hate cards against our deck, literally, like, right there. Go 1, 2. Cool beans. I kind of want to save these right here, the rituals, because if I get plenty of amulets in play, then it allows me to draw multiple cards off one, which is really nice. Let's go, my turn. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So at the end of his turn, I'm going to Settle the Wreckage him, and then I will flip my Primal Amulet, and then if he uses his Field of Ruin, then I will use the Nexus of Fate with the flip, basically. My opponent is bluffing. He's got, like, probably all removal in his hand. Here comes the terror. Decline. That means I can flip it whenever I'd like. A 1-mana spell would be amazing. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Primal Amulet. We'll make the Nexus of Fate cheaper. And I have the City's Blessings now. So I'm going to either start drawing cards off my Arc, or I'm going to be using my, the flop, basically. Right, let me show you. The Primal Wellspring, it adds an additional copy of the spell. That's why I prefer playing the Amulet version, because the copy, right? I get 2 Nexus of Fates in 1 turn. You know, without having to double cast it, basically. Yes, it requires a little bit of setup, but I always feel like this is a lot more, what's what I'm looking for here? Like, it's just better. Maybe my opponent has another Teferi, and they're just waiting. I don't have to do this. So let's go. Hold on. We need to commit for, in case he's got a counter spell or something like that, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw a card, sure. Let me draw cards. My spells are two colorless cheaper, by the way. As long as these amulets stay in play, like they are, I get to draw, my bad. Each spell costs 1 additional less, so, like, my Revitalize are free cast, basically, at this point. Well, they cost 1, but still. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to flip these guys at the same time, and then Nexus of Fate. What? Actually, hold on. What's he going to go for, a Glimmer? Go for a Glimmer. Glimmer lets him draw into stuff. No, I think my opponent's pretty desperate, actually, to draw. At least I think so. I'm going to go ahead and commit that. I'm going to decline the flip, because if he goes land, cast out, I can flip it in response, which fizzles his cast out, which is good for me, I suppose. Or like Ixalan's Binding. And I was right, my opponent's very desperate to draw cards. I might use Memory, actually. I might go Nexus of Fate, and if that doesn't work, then I'll go with Memory. Might be good. I will decline the flip. Again. There we go. I needed the negate. So now I can do it. Here we go. Let's go 1, 2. Well, actually, I kind of want to flip this. I want to flip this to take 2 turns. So how am I going to do that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Play this on the stack. It flips this. Right? So this right here will go on the stack. So I cast Memory for 4 mana. It flips this, and this is on the stack. And then, while this is on the stack, I'm going to use Nexus of Fate. I believe that'll work, right? Because this will go on the stack and it'll flip. So I'm actually going to go full control here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will have the mana. Yes. Resolve. The first trigger. Well, I don't know why he would seal away. Doesn't work. Doesn't make any sense here. Oh, because he doesn't want it in his hand or in his deck. But he doesn't realize I'm going to take an additional turn after this, so it's good for me. Sure. He's getting it all of his hand. He's going to tap out completely, and he doesn't even know I'm taking an extra turn after this. Transform. Thank you. I will take extra turns. 3, 4. Yes, sir. And I'll flip this one as well. Works pretty good. Actually, I should have put the Primal Amulet at the back. But if he's got a counterspell, I'm just going to negate it and just kind of win that war. Seems pretty good. Sure. It's on the stack already, though. It doesn't matter. Now, in case he does have a counterspell, I get to negate it anyways. And the amulet goes back into my library, so... That was very self-defeating in my opinion, it really was. But I'm taking 2 turns off this one Nexus, and I will transform that, by the way. Thank you very much. So if I draw another Nexus, it's going to be good. Let's go! Beating the control players, the filthy, dirty control players at their game. Absolutely. This used to be an absolute nightmare of a match, but now that I'm playing the Amulet version, that I kind of made, but kind of took inspiration off at the same time, pretty good. And I'm going to take 2 additional turns. Let's go. Let's go 1, 2. If my opponent wants to counterspell this, I'm actually happy with that. I'm going to take off full control now. If my opponent wants to waste a counterspell on this, I'm happy. But I'm drawing 2 additional cards now. Woohoo! Let's go! I'm going to discard cards like Settle and Fumigate. That's what I'm going to do. I have 2 counterspells in my hand, so that's really nice. I will discard Fumigate. That is not bad here. Really good. Drawing 2 cards off this Primal Wellspring's really nice. I'm drawing so many more cards than my opponent is right now. Is that a Nexus on top? Tell me that's a Nexus on top. My opponent probably has a Disallow, but he can't afford to use it. Oh, yes. Okay. How do I want to do this? Well, I can do this whenever I want. So I'm actually going to pass my turn after taking 1 turn. I'm on my 2nd turn. Hold on, hold on. Aha! I'm on a 2nd turn after this. Seems really good. I'm gonna full control this again. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna draw a card. That's only 1 turn. My opponent probably thinks I'm only on 1 turn, but I'm actually on 2. Sometimes it takes me to get used to it too. I don't know. You're like, oh my gosh, VNN, you didn't think you were on a 2nd turn either. Oh, I do. Okay, I know. All right, I need to discard 2 cards, so we'll get rid of the settles. I don't need these. And here's my next turn. How does it feel, buddy? How does it feel? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have enough for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have enough. If my opponent has a Field of Ruin in their hand, it's going to suck a little bit, but it's alright, though. I have 2 negates and a Disallow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I've got enough mana. I'll discard the Mending Rivers. I really don't need it. It comes into play tap, so... Here we go, buddy. Now is your chance to win me over, to woo me over. Because I'm going to go negate, negate, and then use my Wellspring. Ooh, a Search of Ascanta? I think I kind of have to allow this. Yeah, it's not worth the fight. It really isn't. Because there's no cards in his discard pile, so he's very far away off from casting it. It really is. Saving all of his counter magic. It's crazy, isn't it? And I'm gonna sandbox my Field of Ruin. I really am. There's no reason to play it this turn. Sure, I'll draw another card. Should have taken out the Arc. I'm telling this guy, he should have taken out the Arc. If he didn't take out the Arc, though, I mean, granted, it would have given me an additional card. Yeah, sure. We'll discard the Fumigate we don't need. If my opponent wants to go, like, draw card, draw card, draw card... This is kind of suspect here. I think this is worth a negate. I really do. I think that's worth a negate. I don't want my opponent drawing cards. In turn. I have to discard a card anyways. And this is a redraw. Yeah, sure. Because I will go negate, and then I will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So watch this, right? 1, 2, negate. Now he has to have 2 additional counter spells because of this darn Wellsprings. And he doesn't got it. 1, 2, 3. Let's counter the Teferi, and then I get a second activation, and I'll counter his Disallow. So he has to have 2 additional counter spells. He has to have 2 additional counter spells now.
I won't let you win.
See? 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't think he's got a land in his hand to play his Teferi. You know, I should have played the Aether. I should play like an Aether Revolt in here. I think it would do me a lot of work. Are you gonna let me anticipate? I think you have to, buddy. Yeah, good game. Let's go, Scoops. We out-controlled the control player. That's what I'm talking about. The power of beating a control player at their own game is so unbelievably satisfying. And I realistically do not think I had another win condition in the deck. And I think that was his only win condition left. Let's claim these oh, and we get a pack. All right, cool beans. Claim these awesome prizes. Ooh, 2 mythics. Let's go with the rare first. Everybody should not go home without a Chain Whirler. Who even plays this card? Okay. I've thought about making a deck around this card, but we'll save it for a different time, all right? Got 1,000 gold. Let's get this pack open. What do we got? Valiant Knight? I think I've got a playset of that. No, if not, that's my playset.